I woke up in his bed, regretting everything. My head hurt. My eyes felt heavy. I looked at the ceiling. It was not my ceiling. The paint was gray. My ceiling is white. I looked at the window. The curtains were blue. My curtains are yellow. I felt a cold fear in my stomach. Where was I? I turned my head slowly. My neck was stiff. I saw a man sleeping next to me. He was breathing deeply. His back was to me. I knew his hair. It was brown and curly. It was Mark. I closed my eyes. I wanted to disappear. I wanted to be in my own bed. I wanted to be in my own room. But I was here. I was in Mark's bed. And I felt terrible. My name is Ariana. I am 24 years old. I have a job. I have a nice apartment. I usually make good choices. I am a responsible person. But this morning, I did not feel responsible. I felt foolish. I felt ashamed. I sat up slowly. The room spun a little. My head pounded. It was a sharp pain. I put my hand on my forehead. My skin was hot. I was thirsty. My mouth felt dry like sand. I looked around the room. I saw my dress on a chair. I saw my shoes on the floor. One shoe was near the door. The other shoe was near the bed. It looked messy. I am not a messy person. I am neat. I like order. But this scene was chaos. I tried to remember last night. My memory was blurry. It was like looking through a foggy window. I remembered the music. It was loud. I remembered the lights. They were bright and flashing. I remembered laughing. I remembered holding a glass. It was a red drink. It tasted sweet, like strawberries. I drank it fast. Then someone gave me another one. "Drink, Ariana," they said. "Have fun." I wanted to have fun. I work hard all week. I work in a busy office. I answer phones. I type emails. I am serious all day. So last night, I wanted to be free. I wanted to be wild. But now I paid the price. I looked at Mark again. He moved in his sleep. I froze. I stopped breathing. I did not want him to wake up. I did not want to talk. I did not want to explain. I just wanted to leave. I moved my legs to the side of the bed. The floor was cold. I shivered. I stood up. I felt dizzy again. I held onto the wall. "You can do this, Ariana," I whispered to myself. "Just get dressed. Just go home." I picked up my dress. It was wrinkled. It smelled like smoke and old perfume. I did not like the smell. I put it on quickly. My hands were shaking. I could not close the zipper easily. I struggled with it. Finally, it closed. I found my shoes. I put them on. I did not fix my hair. I did not look in the mirror. I was afraid to see my face. I knew I looked tired. I knew I looked sad. I walked to the door. I opened it very slowly. It made a small noise. Click. I looked back at the bed. Mark was still sleeping. Good. I walked into the living room. It was messy too. There were plastic cups on the table. There were empty bags of chips. It was the remains of a party. I found my purse on the sofa. I checked inside. My phone was there. My keys were there. Thank goodness. I felt a small relief. At least I had my things. I unlocked the front door and stepped outside. The morning air was cold. It hit my face. It felt good. It felt clean. The sun was rising. The sky was a light purple color. It was beautiful, but I could not enjoy it. I felt too heavy inside. I walked fast. I walked away from the apartment building. I did not know this neighborhood well. I looked at the street signs. I needed to find a bus stop or a taxi. I saw a taxi coming down the street. I waved my hand. The taxi stopped. I got inside. The leather seat was cool. "Where to?" the driver asked. He was an older man. He had kind eyes. I gave him my address. My voice sounded weak. It sounded scratchy. "Are you okay, miss?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "I am just tired." "It is early," he said. "Rest now." I leaned my head against the window. I watched the city pass by. The shops were closed. The streets were empty. It was Sunday morning. Most people were sleeping. Most people were safe in their beds. Why did I drink so much? I asked myself this question again and again. I am not a heavy drinker. Usually, I drink water. Sometimes I have juice. But last night, I felt lonely. That is the truth. I felt lonely. Everyone at the party had a partner. Everyone was holding hands. Everyone was kissing. Sarah, my best friend, was with her boyfriend. They looked so happy. I stood in the corner. I felt small. I felt invisible. Then Mark came over. Mark is nice. We work in the same building, but on different floors. He smiled at me. He handed me a cup. "You look too serious, Ariana," he said. "Relax." So I drank. I wanted to be like the others. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to stop thinking. And it worked. For a few hours, I stopped thinking. I laughed, I danced. I felt light. But now the feeling was gone. Now I felt heavy. Regret is a very heavy thing. It sits on your shoulders. It presses down on your heart. The taxi stopped in front of my building. I paid the driver. I tipped him well. He smiled. "Take care," he said. "Thank you," I said. I ran up the stairs to my apartment. I fumbled with my keys. My hands were still shaking. Finally, the door opened. I stepped inside my home, my safe place. It smelled like lavender. It smelled clean. I closed the door and locked it. I leaned my back against the door. I slid down to the floor. And then I cried. I covered my face with my hands. The tears came hot and fast. I cried because I was confused. I cried because I was disappointed in myself. "I am sorry," I whispered to the empty room. "I am so sorry." I did not know if I did anything wrong with Mark. I did not remember the end of the night. Did I kiss him? Did we sleep together? I woke up in his bed. My clothes were off. It was obvious. But I did not remember saying yes. That was the scariest part. the blank space in my mind. It was a black hole. I sat on the floor for a long time. Then I stood up. I needed to wash. I felt dirty. I went to the bathroom. I turned on the shower. I made the water hot, very hot. I stepped under the water. I scrubbed my skin. I washed my hair. I wanted to wash away the smell of the party. I wanted to wash away the bad feelings. The water fell on my face. It mixed with my tears. After the shower, I put on my favorite pajamas. They are soft and pink. I went to the kitchen. I made a cup of tea. Tea always helps me. I sat on my sofa. I wrapped a blanket around me. I held the warm cup. I stared at the wall. My phone buzzed. It was a text message. My heart jumped. I was afraid to look. Was it Mark? I picked up the phone slowly. It was Sarah. Are you okay? I didn't see you leave. Call me. I let out a breath. It was just Sarah. I did not want to call her. I did not want to tell her what happened. She would ask questions. She would worry. Or maybe she would laugh. Oh, Ariana, you were so funny last night, she might say. I did not want to be funny. I wanted to be safe. But Sarah is my best friend. She loves me. I pressed the call button. Ariana, Sarah answered immediately. Where are you? I was worried. I am home, I said. My voice was quiet. You left early, she asked. Sort of, I said. I stayed at Mark's place. There was silence on the phone. Mark, Sarah asked. The guy from the 3rd floor, the one with the curly hair. Yes, I said. Wow, Sarah said. I didn't know you liked him. I don't, I said quickly. I mean, he is nice. But I don't remember much, Sarah. I drank too much. Sarah's voice changed. She sounded serious now. You don't remember? She asked. No, I said. I woke up in his bed. I was scared, so I ran away. Oh, sweetie, Sarah said. Her voice was soft. Are you okay? Did he hurt you? No, I said. I don't think so. He was asleep. He looked peaceful. But I feel terrible. I feel like I lost control. It happens, Sarah said. We all make mistakes. You had too much to drink. It is a lesson. I hate this feeling, I said. I feel ashamed. Don't be ashamed, Sarah said. You are human. But maybe you should talk to him. Later, not now. I can't talk to him, I said. I can't look at him. Just rest today, Sarah said. Drink water, sleep. We can talk tomorrow. Okay, I said. Thank you, Sarah. I love you, she said. I love you too, I said. I hung up the phone. I felt a little better. Talking helps. But the heavy feeling was still there. I spent the whole day in my apartment. I did not go out. I ordered food, but I could not eat much. I watched TV, but I did not pay attention. My mind was still in that gray room. My mind was still in that bed. In the afternoon, my phone buzzed again. This time it was him. It was Mark. Hey, Ariana. I woke up and you were gone. Are you okay? Did I do something wrong? I stared at the screen. My hands started to sweat. He was worried. He was not angry. He was asking if he did something wrong. This made me feel guilty. Maybe he was being nice. Maybe he took care of me. I did not know what to reply. I typed, "I am okay." Then I deleted it. I typed, "I am sorry I left." I deleted that too. I put the phone down. I could not answer yet. I was not ready. Night came. I lay in my own bed. My sheets were cool and clean. I looked at my white ceiling. I looked at my yellow curtains. "Never again," I whispered. "I will never drink like that again." I made a promise to myself. I value my mind. I value my memories. I want to remember my life. I do not want to wake up in strange places. I want to be safe. I slept poorly. I had bad dreams. I dreamed I was falling. I dreamed I was lost in a maze. Monday morning came. The alarm clock rang. It was loud. I had to go to work. I had to face the world. I dressed carefully. I wore my favorite blue blouse. It makes me feel professional. It makes me feel strong. I put on makeup to hide the dark circles under my eyes. I walked to the office. The city was busy. Cars honked. People walked fast. Everyone looked normal, but I felt different. I felt like I was carrying a secret. I got to my building. I walked to the elevator, and then I saw him. Mark was standing by the elevator. He wore a gray suit. He held a coffee cup. My heart stopped. I wanted to run. I wanted to hide, but there was nowhere to go. He turned and saw me. His eyes widened. He looked relieved. "Ariana," he said. He walked towards me. I stood still. I held my bag tight. "Hi, Mark," I said. "You disappeared," he said. He lowered his voice. "I was worried. You left so early." I had to go," I said. I looked at the floor. "I am sorry." "Hey," he said gently. "Look at me." I looked up. His eyes were kind. There was no judgment in them. "Are you okay?" he asked. "About last night." I took a deep breath. I decided to be honest. "Mark," I said, "I don't remember much. I drank too much. I feel very embarrassed." Mark nodded. He looked sad. "I know," he said. "You were very drunk. I didn't want you to go home alone. It wasn't safe. So I brought you to my place. I slept on the bed. You slept on the other side. Nothing happened, Ariana. We just slept." I felt a giant weight lift off my chest. "Nothing happened?" I asked. "No," he said. "I would never take advantage of you. You are not yourself." Tears filled my eyes again. But this time, they were tears of relief. "Oh," I said, thank you, Mark." "I made you water," he said. "But when I woke up, you were gone." I was scared, I admitted. I woke up and didn't know where I was. "I understand," he said. "I am sorry if I scared you." "No," I said. "You helped me. You kept me safe." The elevator arrived. The doors opened. We got inside. "I learned a lesson," I told him. "I don't want to lose control like that again." "It happens," Mark said. "But yes, be careful. You are a great person, Ariana. You don't need alcohol to be fun." His words touched my heart. "Thank you," I said again. We reached my floor. The doors opened. "See you later?" Mark asked. "Yes," I said. "See you later." I walked to my desk. I sat down. I turned on my computer. The familiar hum of the machine was comforting. I looked out the window. The sun was shining. The fear was gone. The shame was fading. I realized something important that day. We all make mistakes. Sometimes we fall. Sometimes we lose our way. But it is how we handle it that matters. I forgave myself. I was lucky. Mark was a good man, but it could have been different. It could have been dangerous. I promised myself to be smarter, to respect my body, to respect my limits. Later that week, I went to dinner with Sarah. We went to a nice restaurant. The waiter came to our table. "Would you like the wine list?" he asked. I looked at Sarah. She smiled at me. "No, thank you," I said clearly. "Just water for me, with lemon." "Me too," Sarah said. I drank my water. It was cool and refreshing. It tasted like clarity. It tasted like safety. I told Sarah everything Mark said. "He is a keeper," Sarah said. "He respected you." "Yes," I said. "He is a good friend." I am not dating Mark. Not yet. I am taking time for myself. I want to be happy with who I am. I want to be confident without a drink in my hand. I started reading books again. I started running in the park in the mornings. I feel stronger every day. Sometimes, when I close my eyes, I still see that gray ceiling. I still feel that moment of panic. It reminds me to be careful. It reminds me that my choices have consequences. Life is precious. Our minds are precious. I was lonely that night at the party. I thought alcohol would fix it. I thought it would make me connected to people. But it only disconnected me from myself. Real connection comes from clear conversations. It comes from shared moments that you remember. If you are listening to my story, I want to tell you something. It is okay to say no. If your friends are drinking, you do not have to drink. If you feel pressure, you can leave. Your true friends will like you sober. They will like you for you. And if you make a mistake, like I did, do not hate yourself. Do not drown in shame. Stand up, wash your face, apologize if you need to, and try again. Every morning is a new chance. I am Ariana. I am happy now. I am healthy. And I sleep in my own bed under my own white ceiling. And every morning I wake up and I remember everything. And that is a beautiful gift. I remember the sunrise. I remember the taste of my coffee. I remember the conversations I have. One day, I saw Mark in the break room. We were making tea. "You look happy," he said. "I am," I said. "I feel like myself again." "That is good," he said. "The real Ariana is the best version." I smiled. I believed him. It took time to trust myself again. For a few weeks, I was nervous at parties. I was nervous around large groups of people. I stayed close to Sarah, but slowly, the fear went away. I learned that I can dance without wine. I can laugh without beer. I can be silly and loud just because I am happy. One evening, there was another office party. It was for a colleague's birthday. "Are you going?" Sarah asked me. I hesitated. I was a little afraid. "Yes," I said, "I will go, but I will drive, so I cannot drink." "Good plan," Sarah said. We went to the party. The music was loud again. The lights were flashing again. People were drinking red drinks and yellow drinks. Someone offered me a glass. "No thanks," I said. "I have a soda." It was easy. No one cared. No one laughed at me. They just said, "Okay," and walked away. I realized that the pressure was mostly in my head. I thought people cared what I drank, but they were busy having their own fun. I danced with Sarah. We laughed. I talked to my boss about a new project. I made jokes. And at the end of the night, I drove home. I drove safely. I unlocked my door. I took off my makeup. I put on my pajamas. I lay in bed. I closed my eyes. I replayed the night in my head. I remembered every song. I remembered every joke. I fell asleep with a smile on my face. Waking up without a headache is wonderful. Waking up without regret is freedom. I learned that I am enough, just as I am. Sometimes we have to lose ourselves to find ourselves. That night at Mark's place was my low point. It was my wake-up call. I am grateful for it now, because it taught me to value my life. So please, take care of yourself. Listen to that small voice inside you. If something feels wrong, don't do it. If you want to go home, go home. You are the driver of your life. You hold the steering wheel. Don't let anyone else take control. And definitely, don't let a drink take control. You are strong, you are smart, you are valuable. My name is Ariana, and this was my story. It was a story of a mistake, but also a story of growth. I hope my story helps you. I hope you make good choices. And if you fall, I hope you get back up. Because you can. You really can. Life is beautiful when you are awake to see it. Thank you for listening. Keep going, keep growing, and be kind to yourself.